Welcome back to the channel. We've got a fun and challenging drill for you today. We're gonna look at entry and exit positions for your competition shooting. We've got a special guest today, retired Lieutenant Colonel Eric Carlo. This man flew A10s and probably one of the best shooting pilots in the country.
How you guys doing? Appreciate Hunter having me out here today. Looking forward to shooting.
This dude is one of my best friends out here. I think it was actually my second or third match at Pima Pistol Club. I'll squad with you, a couple of our other buddies, and having that camaraderie that we had there really sold me on competition shooting, because again, this is a social sport more so than anything else, where we're just going to hang out with the boys.
That's right.
It's the boys. That's what we're doing today. So this is like what a practice session looks like. Eric and I practice together all the time. At the very beginning, Eric taught me some stuff, and now I'm teaching Eric some stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while since I could outshoot this guy here.
So it's pretty cool. We've got a simple drill setup to work on these entry and exit positions. We've got 3 barrels behind us right here, and we've got a plate rack from each position, which is going to be one of these barrels. We're gonna shoot down 2 plates, and we're gonna try to move through all 3 positions, knock down all 6 plates. We'll see what it looks like, then we'll start breaking things down.
Sounds good.
He goes by Chief, so he will be referred to as Chief the rest of this video. So Chief's gonna be up first, same commands as competition, and we'll run through starting at this barrel. You can go around either way you want.
All right, let's do it.
Shooter, make ready. Ears. Streets. Killed.
250, 6 shots.
$2.50. $2.50. That is not what I'm gonna give you off a belt, but it's the best way to support the channel, the Constantine concealed carry belt. That's how we fund this channel. That's how we have guys like Eric out here, ammo in our guns, and the videographer behind the camera. So guys, if you like this content, engage with the channel, make a comment, talk about your entry and exits. How are you going to enter the Chinese buffet, and what's your strategy to getting as much on your plate? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to support this and you'd like to see more content, grab a Constantine concealed carry belt. Link is in the bio. Eric was one of my guinea pigs on the prototype
Still
belts.
got it. Still wear it every single day.
What's that, probably 2.5 years now?
Oh yeah.
2.5, maybe approaching 3 years on the prototypes. Let's get into the movement. Stand by. All right, 11:46. There we go, couple of makeups in there.
Yep.
But more importantly, guys, instead of looking at the shooting, I want you guys to look at our bodies, see what our legs are doing, see what our feet are doing, so you understand what the body mechanics look like when moving from position to position. We'll reset the plate rack and I'll give it a shot.
Go. Shooter ready. Stand by. All right, we got an 8.16.
8:16. You minus 4 seconds, and that's the stupidest AR that someone could have. 4:16. Dumb. Let's talk about it. We want to try to be as efficient as possible moving through these positions. So there's something that Eric and I both did. Eric, you're an A class in USPSA?
Yeah.
Should be a master in my opinion. You sandbagging son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So a common thing that we're doing is getting the gun up as we're getting into position. I'm gonna show you guys a demo real quick. I'm gonna show you 2 variations. First is going to be what I see most commonly for new shooters.
Stand by. .356.
356. 356. All right, now we are going to do it the other way.
Shooter ready. Stand by. 262.
262. A full second. So Eric, what was I doing differently?
Big thing there on that first run, you were coming up and waiting until you were in position before you got the gun on target.
Yep. So as you saw, I ran up, stopped, then brought my gun up and found the sight picture. That's the #1 thing I see new shooters doing. Instead of like flow, that's what's going to create the lack of flow on a stage, is that stagnation of coming to position, gun up, and then firing, rather than having the gun already up and firing. So coming from barrel to barrel, the first like 1, 2, these are very explosive steps. As hard as we can press that earth, we're trying to move the earth under us like Chuck Norris. And then once we start getting here, a yard or two away from the position, the gun's starting to become presented, and I'm taking some stutter steps until I'm completely stopped in position. Let's run it again. Let's see what our times look like, and let's run it the opposite way that we ran it.
All right.
Stand by. Woo. 11:30. One little hiccup.
Yep.
That's why he's a pilot, not an infantry guy.
Yeah, so big thing, I think probably everyone does it, is you feel like I for sure got that shot and you start your movement and then you end up losing time. So really that follow through on the shot is probably the key there.
Yep.
And not starting off to the next position before you verify that you've had a good sight picture and a good trigger press.
Sure, and especially like in a match setting, that's a huge time disparity. That was a 3-second mistake. So I ran it in like eight and change. You did 11 and change with 3 seconds of fumbling on your gun, which would have been 8 seconds, right? That right there. That's win or lose on a stage. But that ties into the exiting of the position, right? So we talked about entry already, getting that gun up as you're coming out. Next is going to be exit, which is when I'm coming off of these barrels, I'm getting a reactive sight picture on the plate and I'm staring at a specific spot on the plate. Good trigger press, the gun feels good in my hand, everything's confirmed, I'm out of there and I'm moving. So let's reset and I'll run my second run.
Shooter ready? Stand by.
All right.
8:55.
8:55, one makeup, and you guys saw how fast that makeup was. It's a bad trigger press on my part. That's what I called that. Self-diagnosis is huge for your skill. You want to know why you missed. I missed because it's a family channel. I missed because I slapped the trigger. Let's start on the upper barrel this time.
Okay.
All right, shooters ready.
Ready.
Stand by. Woo! 992.
All right.
Daddy's going home and buying a Porsche. I just want to give you guys these examples so you can watch us moving. That's the main goal. So I'm gonna run it again, not even saying anything, just run it. I want you to watch the legs, okay?
Shooter ready? Stand by. All right, 8:24.
8:24. We're just running those crazy 8s today.
Good run, you are.
That's what we're feeling like. Just to note, while we're running uprange, what we're doing with the gun, where if I'm going from this outside barrel and I'm shooting, running this way feels a lot more comfortable. So when I get in position, my body's rotating onto the gun, where if I'm shooting here and I'm running like this is awkward and I don't like it. And I'm running like this, now I have to do like a loop-de-loo just to get my gun in a correct position. So making sure you're like turning and exiting the right way. Actually, I have no idea if I can find it, but do you remember when I put the gun behind my back?
Yes.
Dude, that was like...
That was a split second where you were like, oh, I turned the wrong way.
Dude, so just as an instant replay, I'm coming up range like this. Wait.
No, so...
Show us.
It was like a fence right here, right? And I think you were shooting like this and you had to come around that way. And you turned with the gun this way and then went like this.
Pass that.
Yeah.
Dude, just unreal athleticism. Bang, 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 bang. I'm here, here, here. And the gun stayed downrange the whole time. Was it efficient? No. Did I feel like Jason Bourne? Absolutely.
Big time.
What's up, guys? I'm in the garage. There are some things that I want to include in this video that I didn't mention on the range because we were limited on time. Let's break down this entry and exits and what's important about them. The biggest thing is making sure your gun is up when you're coming into position and that you're confident with your shots when you're leaving that position. We touched on it while we were on the range, but let's let's talk about what getting that gun into position looks like during that movement. I've got my Sandhawk here, it's unloaded. We need a vision barrier. We're gonna use trash cans. We're doing this on the floor, okay? Ooh. Nice. Here is my wall. So the biggest thing is that if I have a target just beyond this trash can here, I wanna make sure that I'm coming into position with my gun up and ready. So if I'm approaching, that gun's getting formed as I'm breaking that vision barrier on that wall. My gun is up, it's ready, and I can fire the shot as soon as that target becomes visual for me. What I don't want to see is running into position, stopping, making visual contact with that target, then presenting that gun and adding that extra step. So again, we're trying to add efficiency to this program. You want to think about all of this movement, entry and exits with efficiency. So we want to take out as many steps as possible. So again, we want that gun up as we're coming into position. As soon as you get visual confirmation on that, you can rip the shot, get your hits, and start shooting sooner, because entry and exits aren't necessarily going to make you shoot any faster, but it will make you shoot sooner. And that is what's going to get you a better stage time. The other part of that is the exits of position. So on some of the stages, you will actually see me as I'm shooting, I'm starting to lean on that last shot and start pushing my momentum to the direction that I want to move to. So again, camera's on a tripod, gun is unloaded. But if I'm aiming at the target, which is going to be the camera lens, and I need to move to the right of the stage and there's some more targets, whatever it is, and the camera's my last thing, like boom, 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 I'm going to start shifting my weight into that leg that I want to move towards. So now my right leg is loaded. So as soon as I'm done breaking that second shot on the target, and I'm done with it, I can use that momentum to take my next step forward. Instead of standing here, and what I see typically is bang, bang, you take your shots, and then you drop step out. What that drop step is doing, it is eating precious time away from your stage. So you want to try to incorporate that all together, make it flow together so it's an efficient movement throughout that position. When you're drawing your gun from the start position, I think getting that gun out of the holster should be your #1 priority while you're moving. We have appendix rig on, got my inner belt with a tier 1 MSP with my Sandhawk. And so if the timer goes off and I'm standing there and I need to move this way, let's say I have to take a couple steps. Generally with new shooters, you will see them, let's just have it untucked for now. They will move to the position first, then draw that gun and bring it out. That's a waste of time. What we'd like to see is building that efficiency into it. So as soon as the timer goes off, I'm drawing that gun so it's up and ready as I'm getting into that position. Again, our whole goal with these entry and exits is to have your gun up and ready so we can shoot sooner. So on those start positions, you want to make sure you're drawing that gun and getting it ready to shoot, whether you're pumping with your arm to get to the position or having the gun up if it's a sooner target so you're ready to shoot as soon as your feet stop. Generally speaking, when I'm moving to a new position, if I have the opportunity to, I'm going to use my eyes to look exactly where I'm going to step, and I'm going to trust my body that I'm going to land in that same spot. I like utilizing the fault lines a lot as well, so if you have elevated fault lines at the match that you're at, I like to ride my foot on that fault line to know exactly where the edge of the boundary is for me to shoot. Granted, that's not always the case, and sometimes on some movements you're not going to be able to look exactly where you're going. You're going to have to use a visual indicator to stop you. So sometimes if there's a lot of targets on the stage, I'll know that if I'm running into a position and target 2 presents itself from the outside of a wall, that's my cue to stop, and that's going to be the position I'm going to shoot from and shoot through. Because the other thing I see is people will stop like just short or just left or just right. So they'll be in a position shooting and they go to shoot something and realize they have to move at the last moment and take an extra side step or a shuffle step or something like that to get the last target, when if they would have taken 1 extra step to get into position, they would have been able to shoot all the targets. So when you're thinking about entry and exits, we want to think about that efficiency and how we can move that all together. We touched on drop steps. I want to address it a little bit more because it's very common where I think people are drop stepping where it's not necessary. It's much faster just to be here and step to where you want to go rather than doing a little hop and then taking off with your feet. Hold on, I don't know if my feet are this way. basically what I'm getting at is if I'm shooting in this position here, I'm taking one big step forward and I'm just having my weight lead that way. So bang, 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 and I'm stepping, taking that nice big step. What this is doing is I'm in like this lunge position. Now I can build power off of this quad and this leg, which is gonna propel me forward. So if I'm moving to the right here, let's get on this side of the camera. Bang, bang, I'm gonna have this back leg loaded. I'm gonna step with my right. Now I'm in this like runner's sprinter stance, where from here, I can really explode. I can lean forward with my weight to accelerate my body, utilize these quads to explode out of there, gain a lot of speed. Compared to with a drop step, I'm adding just a little bit of time where people, they hop up, shift their weight down, and then get into that lunge runner's pose. But where a lot of people will think that it's more efficient because they feel like they're going faster, but that's not always the case. Another common element we see is people changing elevation when they're entering or exiting positions. So what that looks like is if I'm coming into position low, and then I raise up into the gun, into my sights when I'm going to attack that target. Again, we're adding more inefficiencies to that course of fire by adding that elevation. You want to try to eliminate that. So if I'm running into position, it's just stop. Nothing changed in my upper body. My shoulders are still presented at the same height. My head's still at the same height. The gun's still at the same height. Sure, there's exceptions to everything, but generally speaking, you want to just be right upright while you're shooting, getting into position, or if you're coming in low, you want to stay low. So if my weight is shifted lower and I'm coming in like this, I want to stay shooting like that. But what we don't want to see is a change in elevation from going low to high or high to low during that entry or exit. Another thing we mentioned is the stutter step, which is basically taking a group of small steps before you're stopping in position. So if I'm coming in, running in, it's kind of just a little pitter patter, stop in position. The other way to do it is just to take some nice steps and load into your legs and use them like shock absorbers running into it. So just like that, where I'm utilizing the strength of my legs to stop me in position. It's gonna be different depending on what type of body you have, how strong you are, how much weight you have towards your lower body. I was a cyclist for many years, so my legs are very developed and I tend to lean away from doing the stutter steps. You're gonna have to figure out what works best for you and your body. And I found that some shooters really like the stutter step and it's something they've built into their training that they're used to. Personally, I think it's more efficient if you can just stop your weight right where you want it to be. A common trick I use to help you getting your gun up sooner is picking a specific spot on that vision barrier where that target's going to be. So let's say my vision barrier ends right here and it's in line with this hinge of the garage. When I'm coming into that position, I'll have my gun up aiming at this hinge because as soon as I clear that wall, I know my target's gonna be right there to shoot and start engaging. That concludes our entry and exit movement video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for stopping in, Eric. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate you having me,
Oh my
brother.
gosh, that handshake. If he wasn't married, boy.
That's right.